Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I am so glad to see you all. Can I just do this? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Reverend Christine Dance. I am so proud to be the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Welcome to our truly first multi-platform, including in-person, outdoor, interactive Zoom worship. Welcome home. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, first of all, I want to note that here in the in-person part, there are a lot of you who are joining us here for the first time, who were kind of here before, but haven't been and are coming back. If you fall into any of those categories, would you be willing to stand up just so we can have a boost of energy? Because there are a lot of you here. Welcome. Welcome. A very, very special welcome to you. Welcome home. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on different theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing the issues of justice and equity shape everything that we do. A very, very special welcome to all of you who are joining us via Zoom this morning and Facebook. And for those of you on Zoom this morning, it's new. How wonderful that you can see each other now. Please feel free to interact more in the chat, and I will have some special roles for you in today's service as you are willing. For those of you who are here in person, hello. Thank you so much for all you're doing to follow the guidelines so that we can be here safely, and for helping each other this morning, and mostly for being flexible as you have been through this whole pandemic, as we learn and adapt and adapt and adapt some more. Please do not log into Zoom from here, as it will create a multiple feed. Don't do that. And if you easily know how to do it, please check to make sure that you're not on UUCP's public Wi-Fi so we can have as much bandwidth as possible. We have a very special guest here with us today, Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray, who is in town for a different event and asked to join us for worship this morning. What a day you picked, Susan. For those of you who don't know Susan, she was the minister here at UUCP from 2008 to 2017, and then she was elected as the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association. Susan, I hope you know that this congregation is so proud of you and is so grateful for everything that you did to help shape this congregation for who they are in such meaningful ways. And we're so glad you've come home today. We hope that you can sit back and let this nourish you and fill your spirit so that you can continue to do the important work that you're doing. Welcome. I invite you all on Zoom, all of you here, to sit back, ground yourself, and prepare for worship. I see you. I literally see you. I see you. I see all of you. I see your faces. I see you on Zoom. I see your homes, your smile. I see your beautiful spirits joined together in community. I see you, those of you on Zoom. I see those who are watching later on YouTube and Facebook, watching next week, next month. I see you, those of you who find spiritual nourishment where you can. I see those of you who are joining us outside of Phoenix. Hashtag you anywhere. I see you, beloveds, gathered here. I see your glowing eyes above your masks. I see you smiling, even though I can't see your mouths. I see your emotion in being together. Even if you cannot physically see this, you are felt, you are seen. I see you. This is not something we take for granted, seeing each other. This is something that we will never take for granted again. We have been through a time when we have been together while not getting to be together. We have been through a time when many have lost big things and small things, their own beloveds, the opportunity to gather for milestones, maybe losing some sanity during isolation, losing friends and family due to deep differences of how to handle this and so many other situations. Those who have lost their sense of identity. We have been through a time where we have had to find new ways of gathering, new technology, new spiritual practices, new ways of coping, new ways of being. I see you. I see your rejoicing and I see your struggles. I see your depth and I see your beautiful shining spirits. I see your humanness and I see your divine right inside of you. I see you. I'm so very, very glad to see you this morning. I invite you at home to grab a chalice or a candle from your home as I invite my wife, Karen, up to light our chalice. Turn around, Karen. I'm going to use this moment as a moment of personal privilege. For much of, she just goes ahead and does her job anyway. For much of the last 2 years, it has been just Karen and I in the sanctuary. Karen has been our chalice lighter, but also my props person, my tech assistant, my stole straightener, my entire audience for in-person for so much of this pandemic. And also, although we UUs don't believe in hell, Karen and our administrator, Stephanie, where are you, Stephanie? Stephanie's right back there. They have dealt with the hell that has been our parking lot project. So thank you, Stephanie, but thank you, Karen, for getting me through this. Join me as we recite our covenant in a call and response format for accessibility, and you light our chalices together. I'll say each line and please repeat it back. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament. And service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. Supposed to follow that? Hi, Sam. Oh. Thank you. Oh, it's amazing. My name is Carrie Lifshitz, and I'm honored to serve as your worship associate today. Good morning.
Morning. Everything going on at UUCP can be found on our website, phoenixuu.org, and our weekly newsletter, Compass. Few announcements. The nominations committee is looking for people to fill some leadership roles at UUCP. If you know someone or if you or yourself are interested, please submit names before March 1st. Our civic engagement team has a lot of information on our website under Service and Justice. Of urgent notice is the spending limit for our Arizona public schools. The House voted favorably, but it still needs to pass in the state Senate. So even if you have never contacted your representatives before, now is the time. See the civic engagement page for more information, please. And finally, we have a congregant who needs a ride for a vaccination this coming Tuesday at 2 p.m. If you are willing to help, please reach out to Rev Dance. Our Share the Plate, our offering is being collected virtually and in person today. Our Share the Plate offering today, we ask our online participants to donate via text, website, or mail. For those who are in person, we are doing our offering slightly different now so that we don't have to ushers tripping over bushes and chairs. We ask that you please give your donation to our Share the Plate partners in the tables on your way in or out of worship. There's one not over there. Okay. Is it over there? Okay, there's one over there and there's one over there as well. So this week is a Share the Plate week, and the recipient is the Fund for Empowerment Houseless Leadership Project. The Leadership Building Advocacy nonprofit raises the voices of unsheltered people in civic spheres through storytelling at demonstrations, in the media, in public meetings, with lawyers and law students, and with the Department of Justice. The people who make most of the decisions at Fund for Empowerment and who are materially compensated for their work are or have been unhoused. Funds are used to organize street campers as opposed to sheltered population, and because they are the most stigmatized and face the most barriers. This work that they are doing empowers those who typically have the least power. We hope you will be generous in supporting them.
Okay, now it's my turn to get to say good morning to everyone. Check 1, 2, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. It's so good to see so many of you here and to know that others of you, hello camera, are watching us online. Before I introduce our musician, I want to give one more appreciation. Moving our streaming setup out here has meant extra setup and extra rehearsals with our on-site AV crew who have done a lot of work. And also we have a whole new crew of folks who are managing the Zoom meeting for those who are watching online right now. So big thanks to all those folks for making this happen. Our guest artist this morning is my friend Christopher Hill. Chris was already a very busy working musician in Phoenix many years ago, playing percussion and guitar with many different bands and dance troupes. And then he spent 7 years living in Spain studying flamenco and has returned to be one of our city's premier flamenco guitarists. He performs regularly as a solo artist all over town and also with a trio, a Latin music and dance ensemble called Rosetta Verde. The prelude he played was a flamenco form called Alegrías, and now he'll play another traditional Spanish melody, the Malagueña.
Okay, I want to take a picture of you first. Because do you know how beautiful you all look? Okay. So why don't you just put your hands up and wave? Okay. I love you all so much. All right. So how many of you here have been to kids camp? Oh, that's a lot of folks. Can you shove that under there? Did you know that for those of you who didn't know, UUCP has had a kids camp, a summer day camp that has been in existence for over 40 years. Did you all know that? It's amazing, right? That's including the last 2 summers where kids camp was done virtually. So there are a lot of traditions at kids camp. There is tie-dye and there's Bob on guitar, but there is also a very classic one, the lost and found, right? So online folks, I want to see from you all, well, I can't do that. Carrie, maybe you can see. What are some things that the online folks expect to find in the kids camp lost and found? What kinds of things might you find in lost and found?
Water bottles.
Water bottles, for sure.
Hats.
Lots of hats.
Jackets.
Jackets.
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Lost dreams.
Lost dreams. Oh my gosh, that.
One shoe.
Nigel says 1 shoe.
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Jared says backpacks.
Backpacks. Yep. Towels.
Katie says old lunches.
Old lunches. Gross.
Germs.
Germs. That's also true. Swimsuit. Thank you, online folks. That's awesome. So for those of you who don't know, at the end of kids camp, there are often several large boxes of lost and found. The tradition is that you put out all of the boxes at the end of kids camp for 2 weeks, see who comes and picks them up. And in the fall, you put them out again, you get one last chance to do it. And if not, then it's a free-for-all. Everyone gets to go and see what's in lost and found and pull it out. So I think if we expanded this, like what kinds of things, I mean, let me think about where I'm at. If we expanded that beyond kids camp, we might think of a lot of things could also be in the lost and found. So what do we have here? We've got our lost box. So for kids camp, what might have been in that? Oh, yep, the water bottle for sure. The one lost sock for sure. The tie-dye shirt, the ubiquitous tie-dye shirt for sure. And what else? Let's see. There might be, if we stepped beyond kids camp, spontaneity. Like that's some of the things that I lost. I lost the sense to be spontaneous, to go out whenever I wanted to go out to dinner, to see a movie. I need to plan. Can we do it? Is it open? Is it safe? We can't be spontaneous. What else did we lose? Hugs. We lost hugs. I love hugs. I miss them so very much. There's some people who don't like them. I'm not one of them, and I miss them. Another thing that I missed grieving in person. I missed grieving in person. I've had 2 important family members die during this time. I missed the opportunity to be in person and to share that with them. I know many of you have lost relatives and felt that during this time as well. And I lost the opportunity to get to know more of you. People. I was your minister for just 7 months. I hadn't gotten a chance to meet everyone. And I've barely had the opportunity to build that relationship before we shut down. Some of you I've gotten to know really well over Zoom programming, and others of you, I can't wait to get to know you more. So I lost a few things that I was okay with as well. I lost peer pressure to do the things that I really wasn't comfortable doing and didn't want to anyway. And I lost the sense that I didn't have any good reason to not do something. It was fine, right? We're in a pandemic. That was okay to lose. So there's the lost. Now, what might have been found during the pandemic? What did people find at kids camp? The water bottle. Always the water bottle. Oh, I can hold that up. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a nice bathing suit cover up. I might want that. Yeah. I just got a back off look from Carrie. A very nice hat. Very nice sun hat. Might want to grab that. What else did I find during the pandemic? Well, I learned how to crochet. I found a new hobby. It's fabulous now for watching TV or hanging out in meetings or doing whatever and making prayer shawls. It's pretty cool. I found a reconnection with my pets. I got more time to snuggle with them. Many of you got to meet them either in worship or in meetings. I got a lot of sleep. Like I could sleep in later. I could go to bed earlier. I found some sleep. I found some closeness with so many of you on Zoom. Does that look familiar? And although I missed seeing you all, I actually found a sense of internal approval. I didn't get you all telling me what you thought of the sermon right after, or what you thought of what I was wearing that day, or what you thought of anything. I had to find that in myself, and that will make me a better human, and it will make me a better minister. I hope you all found that slay queen, girl boss. It's a shout out to Mary McManus, if you're watching, Mary. During this service, I'm going to invite you all to think about what you've lost and what you found during this time. And we'll get to hear some stories from some of our folks. Thank you for your help, Carrie.
Hi, my name is Christopher. Thank you so much for having me once again. And Benji, thanks for inviting me. This is a great service this morning. So this next song that I'm going to play for you is called the Wahira. And Wahira, or Wahira, La Wahira is a mujer, a woman from Havana, Cuba. So this song is about a gentleman who's enjoying his day in the morning, and he's drinking his cafe and he's reading his newspaper, and he sees the service today is about love and unity and being together. So he's sitting outside of his home and he sees the most beautiful woman that he's ever seen, and he immediately knows that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. So he sings to her, and she's not very interested. You know, he's just another guy, and he's sitting outside of his house. Well, as a gentleman, and a proper gentleman, he goes to her home and meets her parents and tells them that he loves his daughter and wants to marry him, and tells them about his beautiful house and how he'll take care of her forever and be a dedicated partner and spend the rest of his life with her. She's still kind of not interested because she's looking for love, right? She's not just in it for the stuff. So this is just a short little song called the Wahira.
Quiero platicar contigo ahí debajo de pasearme por la Habana con mis hijos, encendido paseando leyendo mi diario, sentado en mi silla con mis hijos. Ay, contigo me caso un día. Ay, dice cero, ay, tu mamá. Si se muero tu papá, mi hermosísima si va curando, tengo una casa en La Habana destinada para ti. Con techo de marfil hay un piso de plataforma para ti, blanca paloma, lo traigo yo la flor de ti. Llevo bien. Ay, me gustó por la mañana y me bebió, pasearme por La Habana, ay, buscando mi alma. Para que tú sepas, linda niña, en mí, cuando te quiero, para que tú sepas, linda niña, en mí, cuando te quiero, cuando te quiero. Cuánto te quiero, cuánto te quiero. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you, Benji, for coming up with a brilliant idea of having our spring music series. Have all these wonderful musicians here with us. Well, I'm giving you credit. It was our idea.
Okay.
It is the time in our service where we share the joys and sorrows of our community. Being together, it is good to share, to support each other, and to connect. Folks on Zoom, I want you to go first. Please enter any joys or sorrows that you have here in the chat. Please put your name at the beginning. And as always, you can put private if you want me to just hold it in my heart and not read it out loud. For those of you who were here, there were joys and sorrows up there. I've got a couple of them for future visits. Certainly know that you can do those there. And I want to just say that a great joy is, I just want to name that, first of all, there's tons of chat going on with our folks in the Zoom. And I also want to let you know that there are about 80 of us here, but our number online is only slightly lower than what it was being every week. So we still have just as many people on Zoom as we had before. So I don't know what that means yet, but it is a great joy. It is a great joy to me. Let us turn to the joys and sorrows of our community. Sandy and Don Weir are joyful to have been with 2-year-old grandson Russell in the Boulder area of Colorado. Finally, our Pam and wife Leanne went away on vacation after this area recently weathered every kind of difficulty except pestilence. So glad that you could be able to do that with them. Carolyn says, joy for the first wildflowers along the trails. And Azelle says, new math of adding that all together, I'm assuming with the numbers. Jan Kaplan says, a joy of Robert Eland's birthday is this Thursday. Not sure, but I think he's going to be 80. Okay, that's a joke, folks. For those who don't know Robert A. Eland, he's not going to be 80, but that was pretty funny. Family Perez says, a sorrow that Bela has added to our family's collections of concussions. Oh, no. Oh, dear. That's not good. Ashley Hackman says, a joy, my daughter Anna went to her first school dance last night and had fun. And sorrow, my uncle Donald Bratton passed away yesterday. He was 70 and I will miss him. Our hearts are with you, Ashley. Laurel Hardin says, Mark and I went to Oak Flat yesterday. The most exciting was hearing from a young woman who won a case for staying on her land, even though the place she chose was right in the way of construction of the border wall. The Oatham land is both north and south of the border of Arizona with Mexico. Yay, great precedent. Andy M says our friend Rick will be starting a new type of chemo. I hope it is more comfortable for him than previous treatments. Please send healing thoughts to Rick in Oregon and his supportive wife, Lynn. The energy knows where to go. Lynn Robbie, oh my goodness, Lynn's had a couple of weeks. Lynn has said, I'm glad to share that my knee surgery is doing well and my partner's health surgery was very successful. We are both home, recovering well at home. Thank you for the support. And Sunshine says, I am sad Jojo has a broken wrist, but I am joyful it is minor and they can still do karate. Good. Jojo, we're sending you lots of healing energy. I just saw a thumbs up from Sunshine. And Cheryl Oliver says, a task I expected to be arduous with a high potential of failure was done and successfully resolved in 10 minutes. It sounds small, but the stress falling from my shoulders is huge. And Glenn and Terry Lockwood are back in Arizona after spending 2 months in Connecticut, caring for our grandson and kids and enjoying the Connecticut winter. Y'all are funny on Zoom today. Y'all are really good. I share two from our in-person folks. First of all, Annalise, say hi, Annalise. I know I saw you. Hello. Oh, Annalise is in the tree. Of course, Annalise is in the tree. Annalise says, we are back. And from McCall, my dad's first time meeting my UU family is today. Very, very welcome to McCall's dad. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Annalise, please be careful. Please be careful. Yeah, and just post joy. I found a new COVID testing place closer to our home. A sorrow is that Jira and I cannot get a negative test after a week of testing. Sending love to you all. Yeah, and there was a request to see Annalise in the tree. One says be safe and another one says be wild and free, Annalise. So I still say safe, stay safe, please. Let us, okay. Oh, there's one more. Yes, thank you. Harriet Williams. Says, a joy for so much support that I got from UUCP folks after I put as a sorrow last week because of my broken pelvic bone. Things are going well, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be going home this week. Again, thanks for the support and especially the knitted prayer shawl sent from UUCP. It is wonderful since I've been cold most of this time. Love to all. Much love to you, Harriet. We're so glad you're joining us today. Continue healing. So I invite you all to a time of prayer and meditation. Whether you are at home on your couch or here soaking up this glorious sun, I invite you to put your feet on the ground, lower your shoulders, take some breaths, listen to the birds or the whir of your air conditioning. Settle in, find a moment of silence and peace in these busy times. And pray with me. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, all that is holy to us, outside of ourselves and within ourselves. Thank you for this day. Thank you for these people, this community, the abundance of leadership that has gotten us through this pandemic to this point. It feels like a new day. Thank you for all of the abundance in our life, all of the things that we have found. Be with us as we still recount all that we have lost. The beloveds who are not with us anymore. The sense of peace and safety. All the milestones that we have lost, all the burdens that we have bared. Be with us as we continue to pave new ways, as we use the opportunity of this great upheaval to decide who we want to be as individuals, who we want to be as a community. We give special blessings to our beloved Susan Frederick Gray and the work that she is doing and carrying our denomination through this amazing time. We pray for all of those who are not here. We send out our energy into the wider world with love and peace and care. Amen. Blessed be and Ashe. Let us take a moment of silence together.
Thank you.
At last, that's so appropriate. So many comments in the chat about how amazing that was. Thank you. And I'm just going to go off script for 1 second and take a little point of personal privilege myself. And I would like to actually thank the Board of Trustees, who were the ones who have made a lot of the difficult decisions throughout this pandemic. The staff, Benji, Katie, Stephanie, and also I think I don't know, I don't want to say most importantly, but yeah, kind of most importantly, Reverend Christine Dance, who 9 months into her called ministry, 7 months, sorry, well, who's counting? Had to deal with this and has done so with a grace that I cannot even begin to imagine. So thank you. When I reflect on the pandemic to this point, my feelings are complicated. Usually the first one is anger at the virus. Who gets mad at a virus? Anger at those who perpetuate falsehoods. And as I reflect more, I realize for the most part, there tends to be a balance. For many of the negative thoughts, there's usually a contrasting thought. I lost sending my kids to in-person public school, but I found the opportunity to have my kids participate in school outdoors in nature while on camping trips. I lost out on so many of the school experiences with my kids, like sports and other extracurricular activities, especially with Dylan being a senior last year, and found peace in the lack of the hustle and bustle of the boys' busy lives. I lost faith in some people and found a greater strength to stand my ground and freely discuss consent. I lost out on big celebrations of milestones and found joy in forfeiting the unattainable expectations of big celebrations. And the losses aren't always negative. I found an irrational need to get all the things done with all the extra time I had. And I lost my personal stigma surrounding taking time for self-care. I lost the introverted desire to hide myself from the larger UUCP community and found my desire to get to know my community better, and in doing so, found a much stronger sense of community and family. This community has helped me get through the past 2 years, and I know you will continue to support me, my family, and each other as we continue to navigate our way through this pandemic.
So, not that anyone's counting. We closed our campus to in-person activities dramatically on March 12th, 2020. That was 23 months and 1 week ago, or 101 weeks ago, or 698 days ago. Again, not that I'm counting. It was like yesterday. I can remember that week so vividly. And it was also a lifetime ago. We closed for in-person activities then, but we for sure have been open and active. In many ways, we have been thriving. We actually have more programming going on right now than we did on March 12th, 2020. But I think we've, and I mean the very collective we, have had very different experiences of what this pandemic has been like, especially perhaps in your involvement at UUCP. Some of you have been very involved. Last week at lunch with the minister, I had several of you mention that you had 3 UUCP activities that day on Zoom, and you were quite thrilled about it. You have met people that you wouldn't otherwise have met. You have told me that we need to forever change coffee hour because you've loved online coffee hour, and you have made deeper connections. Some of you have struggled to be online only. You haven't felt the depth of connection through virtual services and meetings. You've missed singing together, laughing together, and hugging. Some people have left the congregation altogether for many different reasons, and we might not know for a while who that has been. Some of you have been all in between. Maybe it changes from one week or the other. And I am so heartened to think of how many of you have found us during this time, who had never stepped into the building and yet knew this was a community. And then I'm just blown away with how many new people are here today. A very sincere welcome to you. So here we are on a momentous day, and also just another Sunday. We all have a little bit more connection today, whether you are on Zoom and you have a new way of connecting and seeing each other if you want, or those of you who are in person who can be in that community and connect with each other with elbow bumps and smiles behind the masks. This is not back to normal by any means, and the pandemic is not over, but it does feel like a new stage. It's a milestone that we've been waiting a long time for. We've been careful, we've been responsible, and we have been intentional. Now we have the opportunity to intentionally and compassionately find our ways back into each other's lives in new ways again. Today and all of the tomorrows that we are blessed to have, we will look for and find points of connection where we can have that reentry. You'll be hearing some stories from our members today, and I invite you to continue as you have to think and share your own losses and your great finds. They could fall into several categories. Those things that we lost and didn't want to lose, and we need to grieve them. The losses that, well, we lost them because we really didn't need them anymore. They've become less important or were too hard to maintain. Sometimes we find things when we aren't looking and they just show up and we go, wow, look at that. Here's a new thing. Sometimes we find things because we have needed to, a new coping strategy or an intentional way of being. Many of you know that I'm an advocate for acknowledging and normalizing pain and suffering in our human condition, rather than the very American way of keeping your chin up and pretending that everything is fine, even though we know perfectly well it's not. The Atlantic had a terrific article a few months ago by Scott Barry Kaufman entitled "Tragic Optimism is the Opposite of Toxic Positivity." Kaufman writes, "Countless books have been written on the power of gratitude and the importance of counting your blessings. But that sentiment may feel like cold comfort during the coronavirus pandemic, when blessings have often seemed scant. Refusing to look at life's darkness and avoiding uncomfortable experiences can be detrimental to mental health. This toxic positivity is ultimately a denial of reality. Telling someone to stay positive in the middle of a global crisis is missing out on an opportunity for growth, not to mention likely to backfire and only make them feel worse." As the gratitude researcher Robert Emmons of UC Davis writes, "To deny that life has its share of disappointments, frustrations, losses, hurts, setbacks, and sadness would be unrealistic and untenable. Life is suffering. No amount of positive thinking exercises will change this truth. Tragic optimism is the search for meaning during the inevitable tragedies of human existence, and is better for us than avoiding darkness and trying to stay positive." Today is an invitation to re-enter into each other's stories, those that you've stayed connected with during this time, and especially those you haven't, acknowledging that we've all had our share of inevitable tragedies as well as those unexpected pleasures. Why is this important for a spiritual community? Because it is whatever connects us to it. It is what connects us to whatever has meaning for us. And it connects us to each other in our journey of living this human experience. But sometimes we find these big shifts can present the biggest growth. Shifts like deaths and relationship changes and employment or financial tumult, even positive changes that have a lot of stress involved. Sometimes it's big changes like a global pandemic, a racial reckoning, an environmental collapse, or a massive inequality that has the potential to shift us. They can shift our hearts wide open. Parker Palmer says that when the heart is supple, it can be broken open into a greater capacity to hold our own and the world's pain. It happens every day. When we hold our suffering in a way that opens us up to greater compassion, heartbreak can become a source of healing, deepening our empathy for others who suffer and extending our ability to reach out to them. This is what all of the great traditions teach us. Don't gloss over the big moments of pain and celebration and uncertainty. Lean into them. Don't run from them, but befriend them. Hold them in your hands, turn them over, look at them, examine them until they are as malleable as putty. Share them with others and let them help you hold them. Then your experiences open you up to connect with other people's experiences. It can transform it from your own isolated experience into a bridge that connects your heart with others' hearts. It is then that we truly learn that our human experiences create space where we are more deeply connected to each other than we ever imagined, leaving us all feeling more whole. Today, we are lucky to have 3 people who are sharing their own stories of lost and found. We have our brand new member, John Hahn, who just joined the congregation 3 weeks ago. We have Susan Morris, and then a reflection from Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray. Let's see where we can enter into their stories, where we can find ourselves, how we can make those bridges, and where we can compassionately explore the wide range of things that we have lost and found. Come on up, John.
Thank you, Reverend Christine. There's an old Chinese proverb that I always like to tell clients, or maybe it's a curse that says, may you always live in interesting times. To call the last 2 years interesting, I think would be a big understatement. The last 2 years for me have really been a period of loss, but also of discovery. And I would like to talk about 3 things I've lost and then 3 things I have found. In the past 2 years, the first thing I lost is my faith. I grew up in an evangelical church and held very dogmatic religious and social beliefs for the bulk of my life. Over the last 2 years, though, I have really embarked on a time of intensely questioning those beliefs. And this has led me to the place where I don't hold those beliefs anymore. At times, this questioning and abandonment has left me confused and unsure of things. I would say, though, the loss of faith has also been followed by a feeling of freedom to explore new beliefs. In this newfound freedom, I have come to realize that life is more than just a set of dogmas. There is love, kindness, and a mutual respect for others. I have broadened and expanded my thinking and found places like UUCP and experienced things that have opened me up to new experiences. On January 6, 2021, my mom died from COVID. This led to a loss of stability. I felt that the loss of my mom really left me adrift. The consistency and the safety of mom was really taken away from me. And even over the last year or so, I still feel that feeling very strongly. But the loss of my stability has led me to find a greater appreciation for mom and for people, things, and events in my life. One of the first books I read after mom died was Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. And she describes that when we lose a parent, it opens up feelings that have been dormant up to that point. I have come to appreciate mom more since her passing, and also developed a greater capacity of being present in the moment. 7 months after mom died, I had a heart attack at 47 years old. I thought I was healthy at the time, and this event took away my perceived sense of youth. Up to that point, I thought I was immortal, and having health issues was for everyone else, but not for me. But I've really realized the fragility of life and health. Since my heart attack, with my wife's help, I have developed a sense of resiliency that, quite honestly, I didn't think I possessed. I feel as if the heart attack was a wake-up call to me to make changes in my life, and I have a renewed sense of purpose and life to live more present and truly treasure life. Thank you.
Good morning. This pandemic has brought pain and loss to so many people, but largely due to my privilege, for instance, not being an essential worker, not suffering a loss of income, not having school-age kids at home to manage, and so much more. This being forced to cocoon at home has enriched my life. Yes, I missed coming here for services and for choir practice and having regular social time with friends. But COVID-19 handed me the opportunity to close the often fulfilling, sometimes enjoyable, but onerous and utterly unprofitable tutoring business I ran for 35 years. Until March of 2020, my life was frantic, rushed, sometimes fulfilling, but exhausting. Since then, I have adopted a slower pace, having time to read, to think, to write, to start a blog, to play music, and to do jigsaw puzzles. I would never have indulged myself in this way without a stay-at-home order. I was raised to make myself useful, not fritter my time away. Well, I enjoy being useful, but I've been running on empty for too many years. And I've now been reminded that I need to engage in self-care by taking time for pleasure. Although I've missed in-person events, I have to give a lot of credit to Zoom. To have to go through this without at least seeing the faces and hearing the voices of people I love would have been unbearable, no matter how much I enjoyed the time alone. Now, going forward, the trick is to find the right balance of being useful and taking time for myself. As the restrictions have loosened, I'm already starting to overcommit. But now I know what I was missing. Going forward, I don't want to lose it again.
Whatever you want. And you'll go right to Benji. So just say what you want to say.
I feel a little speechless, and I'm waving to those of you on Zoom
to hear your names
They're waving back.
lifted up.
They're waving back. They really are.
First, a story. I love to tell stories. So I didn't think of this in advance, but seeing you and talking to you, some of you this morning, I remembered that story. Some of you have heard me tell it about the perfect heart. And it starts with a young man who walks into a town and says, I have the perfect heart. And the townspeople gather around wondering, what is this perfect heart this young man is talking about? He says, no, really, my heart is perfect. And, through the magic of stories, a light shines through his chest and the people can see his heart. And indeed, it's beautiful. It's young and strong with this, regular, strong, intense beat. It's beautiful in color, not a blemish on it. And indeed, the townspeople are impressed. And then a woman, elder, comes from the back of the crowd, a grandmother. And she says, excuse me, young man, I need to let you know that is not the perfect heart. Your heart is beautiful, but let me show you mine. And through the magic of storytelling, a light shines in her heart and the townspeople can see her heart, which is not unblemished. In fact, there are deep crevices that run through it. There are places where it has been broken and appears to have been stitched back together. There's actually places where little pieces of the heart are missing and other places where it seems like some other piece of heart has been stuffed in to a missing place. And she explains about how the broken places, some of them have healed, forgiveness has happened, relationships have been restored, and so parts of her heart are broken and stitched back. Some remain open and haven't fully healed. And she says those places where there's a piece missing, that is because I left my heart with someone else. I gave them a piece of my heart, and where you can see a little piece of heart back in that spot, someone gave me their heart, a piece of their heart in return. She says, my young man, your heart is beautiful, but this is a heart that is lived. This is a heart that's known deep love and sorrow and loss. Now we know perfection is not the goal, so I don't know that the perfect heart is even the right imagery, but this is the heart we should all aspire to. And I was reminded of that story because I was feeling the ways in which a part of my heart is here and that a part of you are with me always as a community that has shaped me and grown me. So for those of you who don't know who I am, you introduced me, but so I'm Susan Frederick Gray. I'm the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and UUCP is one of over 1,000 Unitarian Universalist congregations committed to progressive and liberal religion, to creating inclusive, justice-centered communities that welcome religious diversity. And so I just, I share that I now represent over 1,000 UU congregations, that you all have siblings across this country and across this world. And I want to thank you all at UUCP for your leadership. This congregation continues to be a leader in our faith movement. Benji was the music director for one of our national general assemblies just a couple years ago, the first year of the pandemic. You are a leadership congregation in terms of your generosity. You are a leadership congregation in terms of your religious education, your commitment to children and families. You are a leadership congregation in your commitment to migrant justice, to racial justice, to civic engagement and leadership in your community, and an inspiration. You continue to inspire me, and I'm so proud of the work you continue to do. And not only, one of the things I want to share with you is how important Reverend Christine Dance
has been to me over these last 3 years. Something I have found is a minister to me and a colleague and friend. And I'm so grateful to know how deeply you all are loved by Reverend Christine, how you are seen, how you are thriving and growing together through this unbelievable time. You all have been growing and caring for each other. And Reverend Christine, my heart is full knowing that you are here and loving this community. I have lost so many things in this pandemic, and most especially my dear, dear friends. I have lost, and I'm in the process of losing a third, but I've lost 2 dear friends, and the process of losing a third who have died too young. And that is a grief that is great. And I have lost travel and not missed it. I've lost time with my parents, although they are still with me and I have seen them now in the summer, finally getting to see them again. I've lost some of my, what did you call it? Dangerous positivity. I've lost some of that positivity. And I think I've lost some of my guardedness, and you all know that I'm not all that guarded to begin with, but I think I've lost even more of it. I found a deeper appreciation for friendship. I've had relationships throughout this pandemic where I'm calling people every week, regularly, deepening friendships that are distant across, that have been, distant across space, across the country for a long time, but, practicing regular check-ins, taking more care around friendships and the relationships of love that matter. I found a deeper vulnerability and a willingness to share that. I found more time with my beautiful family, Henry and Brian. They're doing so well. You all know them. But I didn't have to travel for almost 2 years, whereas I was on the road more than half the time in this job. So I got to just see them and be with them and play games and eat meals and be together. I found a greater power in shared work. UU the vote was life-saving for me. For those of you who don't know, Unitarian Universalists across the country came together. The UUA helped network us together. We reached over 3 million voters in the 2020 election. I remembered, in losing some of the optimism, what I found is that we really do have power within us when we work together to change the circumstances of our society and of our lives and of each other's lives. I learned what it means to protect other people. I learned more deeply how fundamentally interdependent we are, how we belong to each other. And therefore, we need to help save each other and care for each other. And then the final thing is, or not the final, but the last thing is the work of Adrian Marie Brown. Adrian Marie Brown is a Black writer, activist, pleasure activist. She's written a number of books and is a scholar of Octavia Butler. And if you haven't read her work, I recommend it to you, Adrian Marie Brown. But she talks about transformation happening at the smallest level, or beginning at the smallest level. So one of the things I think I found in this pandemic is the beauty and the attention to smallness, to the smallness of a relationship between two people, to the smallness of care and attention to what's right in front of you, to my neighborhood, to my family, to recognizing that the change we need for life and for all to thrive starts at a small level in our care for each other and our attention for each other. And I'm living and loving this attention to smallness. Because indeed, every connection we have connects us across the world, but it begins in the intimacy of our relationships around us and our relationship to this precious earth that gives us life. So I am living in and rediscovering the smallness and the beauty of the change that happens in the immediacy and in relationship. To all of you online, to all of you here, this is my first time with a congregation since the pandemic in person, you know, and how powerful is that for me, for this to be the first church I am physically at since January 2020. Thank you all.
Well, welcome back, Susan. And Dale, I just want to double check because I hadn't been watching. Did you take a second to sweep the camera around the? You did. Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay. So about 6 months ago, I woke up from a dream that we were in the sanctuary and the pandemic was over and we weren't wearing masks. And I was singing with you about how great it was to be back together in person. And right away, as I woke up, I wrote down what I could remember of the song that I was singing in my dream. And then when I couldn't remember anymore, I went ahead and finished it, kind of guessing at what it might have been. We're not in that situation now. The pandemic isn't over. So I call this song Pandemic Fantasy. But I am seeing some of you in person for the first time in a long time, and I have been saving this song for this moment for you. So. Congregation, are we really here? Or is this a simulation? Are we sharing air? Has it been a generation? Well, they say our online lives will be sustained, so I pray blackout. Like I pray for rain, I want to share your dinner, not just see it in the frame. Oh, 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 oh. So if the feds want to surveil us, they can come to our meetings. Leave your phones in a bucket by the door. Let the words I sing disappear and be fleeting. If you don't remember why, let's do this more. Oh, I've missed you, I've missed you, I've missed you. Some say photos can steal your spirit. When I record a song, I can forget to hear it. And maybe, oh, we can Google Earth and still never get near it. Oh, 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 oh. Sure, there's power in all those ones and zeros. We all live in towers built by programming heroes, but for an hour, let's see the world without those mirrors. Oh, 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 oh. We can give up a million entertainment choices and commit to being in the room. If we sing, we'll hear each other's voices. Don't you dare even mention Zoom. Oh, I've missed you, I've missed you, I've missed you. Oh, my dears, I don't mean to wax poetic about being here, but it's sweet, and I'm diabetic after this year of being I'm so hermetic. Oh, 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 I guess all I mean is that it's been a while, and I'm so keen just to see you smile, not on a screen or in a video file. Oh, oh, so let the FBI put pants on and come to our meetings. Leave your phone in your pocket for now. We could even try three-dimensional greetings. If you don't remember those, I'll show you how. Oh, I've missed you, I've missed you, I've missed you. I've missed you, I've missed you, I've missed you. Oh, oh, good to see you, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Benji, you are a gem. You are a gem. That, I think that's got to go viral. Like,
No,
now.
no. It's in-person only.
It's an in-person.
Yeah.
Oh, the irony of me saying that. It's
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
go viral.
No, I'm gonna say it every show. You're not allowed to record this.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just for us.
awesome.
I didn't say it this time because it's part of. I know the
Oh
irony.
my gosh. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Okay, so and the chat's like going, they're just losing it. So quoting each line on it, Benji. Okay, so I need to acknowledge that we were going to, as far as the distance, the masking, we were also going to have a shorter service. We have failed miserably at that. Failed miserably. And I'm here for it. Like, I'm so good with it. And hopefully you all online, I'm seeing a whole bunch of you wave at us. Have you enjoyed this too? Good. It's so, oh, there's Peggy Payton just waved at us, you all. Dan Hunt just waved at us. They're all there. Okay, so we are at the conclusion of our service. And here's a few things, because everything's changing. As we have for 2 years, we will have online coffee hour immediately following the service. It is a separate link. It will be in the chat. It's in Compass. It's on the website. It will be on the final slide. And Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray will be there at our online coffee hour for all of those who are online who want to see her. For those of you who are in person, we are not having an in-person coffee hour. Please don't hang around too long. Don't make us kick you out, but certainly enjoy seeing each other. You are welcome to go and join coffee hour in your car. And we've got a couple classes that are starting, you can see in Compass, that are starting at noon, so that well, shoot, that's in 2 minutes. Katie, if you want to text me and tell me what time you want those classes to start. And Katie says, come to coffee hour with me. And I just want to note something. We were going to say it in Joys and Sorrows, but I didn't know. We need to send some major love to our own Katie Resendez de Perez, who is having surgery on Thursday. And Katie will be out for medical leave for 6 weeks. So please send some healing energy, some good energy. This is actually good news for Katie. It will hopefully heal and fix a whole bunch of problems. But if you all can send some good energy to Katie and the whole Perez family. And Katie says that the classes will start at 12:20. Katie has spoken. We love you, Katie. Heal well. Thank you, Susan, for being here. What a great pick me up to an already wonderful day. We love you. And let's see. Now, go forth and be beautiful. Go forth acknowledging your losses as well as all of your founds. Go forth knowing you are wrapped in this community as much as the sun is shining on us today. Go forth knowing that each person you meet is carrying that same mix box of lost and found, knowing that we are all connected. Go in peace. Go in love. I love you all so much. Mwah!
You all